Hey everyone, how are you all doing? Today I'm going to be taking a look at the Medicom Mafex Batman Hush Nightwing. And this figure is so important to me for so many reasons. We've been waiting for this figure for, I think, like around 2 years now, right? Since it was either first announced or shown or put up for pre-order, whatever. But it finally has come out and it does not disappoint to a degree. And the only reason I say that is because, well, here, I have two of them because I placed two different orders, two different places, and I forgot to cancel one of them. So here we are, and, you know, make the most of what you got. And I was thinking about doing this anyway, and with having two, I was able to do it, keep one stock, and as you can see, obviously, painted one of them to have a black mask, so he looks a little bit more like how my brain, you know, pictures Nightwing. Like in more recent years, he's had the blue symbol with the blue mask, like in Rebirth and that. But this is what I think of Nightwing. I think of him having the blue. Why is this not focusing? I don't know why this is not focusing, but him having the blue symbol with the black mask, I think that just looks far better, in my opinion. I feel like there's also a lot more definition. Like you can see his eyes a lot clearer because if I just turn them, you know, so it's not super blinded by the light or anything, you just see the eyes more. I wish they would have put like a black line maybe around the blue on the mask or something. I think that would have made it a lot better. But I really like the blue of this too, because this really, how this looks, which we'll take this guy away in here in a second, just because, you know, it's not about what I did, it's about the stock version of the figure. This reminds me of the DCUC figure, and that adds an extra layer of it being special to me, because that figure was for the longest time in my life a grail piece. And I got two of it. And so, you know, we have a highly articulated version of that now with the Mafex one. But taking a look at just the stock figure, on its own, in its own right, it's a great figure. It has its problems, which, you know, hey, every action figure has its problems. There are things that I wish that could change about it. But really, there's nothing, you know, nothing that I would say breaks the figure in the sense of making, okay. Well, other than that, the two biggest issues that I have with the figure are the head sitting a little high, which if I bring in real quick the alternate head, you can see just how like shallow in the neck and how kind of misplaced the connector piece is. So you should be able to heat that up, maybe drill into the head a little bit more just to get it to sit a little deeper up in the head, or it may just actually fit in there properly if you try and heat it up gently and remove it. But, you know, getting him into a pose, it's not a problem at all. And it's Nightwing, it's Mafex, you're not gonna have him in a vanilla pose, so I think it's fine. And the same thing for the shoulders. So they can kind of go in a little bit, you know, but then his arms start to poke out. I feel like his shoulders, it may just be the fact that they're blue, so the brighter color sticks out more across like the slim black of the body, but I feel like his shoulders are just massive. So like if I bring in the blue Hush Batman, like, I feel like his shoulders look kind of normal, you know? They look like a normal human being's proportions. But Dick's just kind of, I feel like, are big. Maybe it's the head size, honestly. Because, like, if I bring in Superman real quick, they have a very Jim Lee aesthetic in the sense that, at least these two do, with the fact that their heads are very small, but their upper bodies are really wide. So, you know, I mean, I think it's perfect for Jim Lee's art. But I just feel like from an action figure and proportion, you know, human being standpoint, it's just something to point out. But like I said, it doesn't break the figure at all. And since we already touched on the alternate head, let's just bring that in again real quick so I can show you guys that. So he has an alternate angry head, which looks pretty decent. I don't think there's anything wrong with this. Obviously the paint missed a little bit right there, but the hair is good. It's the same hair sculpt across both of them. And obviously this one's just more pissed, and the teeth look pretty solid on this too. There's nothing terribly printed about it or anything. And then as you can see on the figure, he has a pair of sort of open, splayed out hands, as well as his Eskrima sticks on his back, because they just slide into the alternate piece on the back, because he does have an alternate back. How many times can I say back in this sentence? But it's a very tedious process trying it off because they're very thin little pegs that you have to try to port into on the back. So just looking at that from the alternate one, like there's a lot of them. Just please be careful. Just use so much caution. You can't really see the seam line, so that's really nice. You usually kind of have to worry about that kind of stuff, but as is, it's pretty solid. And then obviously, since he has his eskrima sticks, because he needs to have them, he does come with a pair of grip hands for those, and they just have a little circle thing so they slide in. Just friction. There's no, you know, peg or anything like that. And the paint so far on either of my Nightwings has not chipped yet when, you know, off the silver or the hands, so that's really good. And the hands, all of them have the same style that the suit does, with the blue coming down onto the hands, and all of that has not bled or anything, so that's very nice. He comes with a pair of fists, which have the same exact detail, you know, just missing the hole in the hand. He has a pair of sort of karate chop or sort of acrobat, you know, whatever you want to use them for, hands, which are very nice. Here's his relaxed hands. These look really nice as well. I like the little bit of blue that comes onto the fingers with this one. I think it may have bled that way maybe, but I think it looks cool. As for his eskrima sticks, he also comes with this really cool bendy wire piece that is attached to these alternate eskrima sticks. So you can have, you know, the bendy wire, you can have them kind of go in whatever direction you want. And this really begs the question, Medicom, please give us a Daredevil, because this would look so cool with a Daredevil. And then it also kind of begs the question, why, if they're able to give us bendy wire for something like this, why can't we have bendy wire webs for Spider-Man? And then also, it's not supposed to do this, but mine just broke right here. I don't know if it's broken, but like there's a peg hole and it kind of just slots right in there. So let's see if we can get that back in there. Okay, no, so that's broken. So just be careful, because I have moved that around maybe twice. So yeah, just be careful. And that's why I'm glad that I have two. And then last but not least, he does have a pair of these hands, which are so cool. They have kind of a rock-on type pose with them, and they just peg into these very clear pieces. It's to recreate him walking while spinning his eskrima sticks, which is really nice. So this is very cool, and it makes me itch to get that comic Thor that's coming out, because it just reminds me of the effect that comes with that. And now taking a look at the detail on Nightwing here, I like this blue. Originally, I was kind of iffy on it, and I was hoping that it would maybe be a little bit more like, if I bring in my custom Mezco, I wonder if you guys have not seen that video, please go give that a watch while I pick Nightwing up. But, you know, this Nightwing has more of a lighter blue kind of look to him versus this darker blue. But I actually like it a lot more now that I've painted the mask on the other one, because I don't know, I like the idea of the light blue mask in that, because it looks more, you know, it looks like his rebirth look and everything. But I don't know, I think if it had the black around the eyes, or maybe just like the trimming, you know, just anything to make the eyes pop a little more, I think it would look better. But as is, I like it. I think it looks good. I think this looks more like what my brain's version of Nightwing is, so I do personally like that a little more. But this is still good, and I really enjoy it. Like I said, the suit is very shiny. He has some lines for gloves and boots, but no leg swivel or anything like that, which we'll go into the articulation here in a minute. The blue across the actual suit on the body looks very nice. It all just looks so nice. It looks very Nightwing. And speaking of looking very Nightwing, let's look at that butt. I mean, look at that. That is a Nightwing butt through and through. That was the most important thing that they had to get right on this figure. And it just, they got like the fabric stretching across his butt because it's just so massive. And it's just perfect. And now taking a look at his articulation, he does have the standard Mafex joints. So if you have any Mafex, you know what you're getting with this. His head can go up all the way using both of those. All the way down, can rotate to the side, twist it both, you know, do some good old pivot. His shoulders go up all the way, rotate all the way around. He has butterfly joints technically because of how the joints work with that. Can go all the way across, which is so good for his acrobatic poses, and can go almost all the way back, I would say. Yeah, pretty much all the way back. He's got bicep swivel, double jointed elbows that go up that far. Could be better, but it's not bad. He's got standard joints at his wrists, standard Mafex joints, of course. As for his torso, using both of those, they can go that far forward. It definitely could be better, but you can get pretty good posing out of it. You can go that far. Ooh, see, like I just bent the crap out of that on there. So just be careful when you're messing around with this back piece and having the eskrima sticks on. You can go that far back. It does kind of create some gappage, but nothing too terrible. He's got rotation at both of those joints, as well as can go to the side. So it can go that side all the way, and then a lot farther on that side. So I probably just didn't push it far enough the other way. As for his hips, they are dropped down, can go that far forward and that far back. Naturally, his butt does get in the way. As for out, they go out almost all the way. Not bad. He's got a little bit of swivel at the hip itself. Double jointed knees that go back that far. Not not terrible at all, but not all the way, which some people might be disappointed in that. As I said, he does have lines for boots, but no boots or anything like that. And then he does have standard Mafex ankles at the feet, but can go back, forward, of course, rotate, and then the toe joint, which on Nightwing is fine. And now on to some size comparisons. I already did show them together, but here he is next to the Hush, Batman, and Superman. Superman's head's kind of off to the side here a little bit, but I think this is a pretty good height. Bruce is taller than both Clark and Dick, which I think is not right, and I feel like Clark's head should be bigger. But, you know, other than that, I think it's fine, because you're going to have Clark in a flying pose. Like I said, you're not going to have these Mafex figures and then have them in a vanilla pose most of the time. You may have some like that sometimes, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I feel like for the Mafex stuff, you're going to have them in poses to where you can get away with some of the proportional issues, and I say issues in quotes. For the only other Mafex Hush figures that I have currently, I still need to get Huntress and Harley. Here he is next to Joker and Catwoman, and I think this looks great. I do think it kind of lends more to the fact of, I feel like either his head's a little small or his shoulders are just really big, and I think it may just be both, honestly. I think his head might be just a little small, and then the shoulders are a little big, but who knows? Maybe whenever I try to fix the little connector piece in his head, if I try to drill, you know, make it deeper or whatever, so the head sits a little lower, it might fix the proportional. And then, as always, here he is next to the 20th anniversary Captain America, and then because this figure and company needs more love, the Jada Toys Wolfman, and this looks really good as well. So if you wanted to fit him in with your Legends, I think you could definitely do that, or have him face off with the Wolfman. Overall, this figure is just so great. Like, if I bring in, once again, the one that I painted up a little bit, since he has the Eskrima sticks in his hands, you can just get some really nice poses, having the arms going like a cross. You can do all sorts of cool stuff with him. I really like the painted head. I saw some people use the Icon's head too, so if you don't feel like painting and you have that figure, that head looks pretty good on here as well. I personally just thought I'd try it because I like the look of the black mask and I like this hair and everything, but you can get him into some crazy, you know, acrobatic poses. His head looks a little busted right there, but, you know, you can get his legs going out that far, so you can have him just doing some really cool acrobatic posing. The Eskrima sticks are nice. The paint apps are nice. I do, like I said, the only gripes that I have are proportions, and that's just his shoulders, but, you know, doing a pose like this, you can't really see any of the issues that I have with his proportions, other than maybe the head a little bit, because his neck kind of sticks out a little bit, and I think that's just because of the fact that that connector piece is sitting very shallow in the neck. But other than that, I love this figure. It is an absolute gem of a figure. It strikes all the nostalgia bones that you want for it. Like, for me personally, Nightwing has always been my favorite DC character, and he just has such a special place in my heart. So this figure had to be perfect. You know, it had to be perfect or have the potential to be perfect, and I would say that it did. I think it delivered on that. Absolutely. So, yeah, that's going to do it for me, and I will catch you guys in the next one. See ya.